DePaul is trying to promote school spirit by hosting events around campus, handing out t-shirts like the one I'm wearing, and selling red and blue donuts. Chicago's ban on plastic bags will require larger chain stores like CVS to switch over from plastic bags to paper ones by August of 2015. But what students don't realize while walking past Asado Coffee is that it has a lot of history. In particular, it's located in what is believed to be the oldest building in downtown Chicago, right in the middle of the Loop campus. But not all the films at the festival were made by professionals and funded by studios. A few blocks away, some very lucky film students have the chance to show the short films they've created. Chicago is full of tourist attractions, but ever since it opened in 2006, the Bean is a popular spot for tourists and Chicagoans alike. Instead of paying for parking at the meter, Chicagoans can now pay for parking on their smartphone using the Park Chicago app. Across the country, people are demanding change. From members of Congress to retail workers, the call to raise the minimum wage is growing.
That every 2 weeks is definitely not enough for me to actually, survive.
The minimum wage was set in 1938 at 25 cents an hour. It was created to help the surplus of workers competing for the same jobs during the Great Depression.
But in many circumstances, especially at the lower end of the salary line, if you don't hire me, you have 100 other people you could hire. So I can't really negotiate a higher wage.
Currently, the minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, 3.3 million workers make wages at or below the federal minimum wage. That's about 4% of the workforce. Washington has the highest wage at $9.32, while Wyoming and Georgia have the lowest at $5.15. Illinois is tied for the fifth highest wage in the country at $8.25. But for some, that's still not enough.
I am committed, as governor of our state, to work with you and to work with good people all across Illinois on raising the minimum wage.
However, others are convinced raising the minimum wage will harm the economy.
I think we've got to be competitive here in Illinois. It's critical we're competitive. We're hurting our economy by having a minimum wage above the national.
The fight over raising the minimum wage isn't only confined to politicians. Across the country, major corporations are deciding to raise their wages. And when they don't, some workers take matters into their own hands, like the ones here at McDonald's. In February, Gap Inc. announced it will raise its minimum wage for employees to $10 an hour, a move they hope will bring about many changes.
People are what's important. It's about your people. It's about your celebrities. And when they are, have a good morale, are comfortable with their living, with their wage, what they're earning, they're going to be more productive employees.
Employees like Jerusha Young feel the raise validates their hard work.
I think that the wage increase is just giving me more of what I deserve for the work that I do anyway.
The president even showed his support by shopping at a Gap store in Times Square. However, most companies still abide by the federal minimum wage, and some employees are demanding change. In May, fast food workers across the country went on strike for one day. Their goal? To raise their minimum wage to $15 an hour. With Congress, companies, and workers at a standstill, the future of the minimum wage is still unclear.
Strike, 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 strike!
But there is one certainty. The fight to raise it won't die down anytime soon. Reporting for Good Day DePaul, I'm Daniel Kummerer. Behind the fence on the corner of Belden and Bissell in Lincoln Park is one of DePaul's best-kept secrets. It's the DePaul Urban Garden, and for some students, it's their sanctuary.
It's really just a passion of mine, and it's an outlet and a safe space and a sanctuary, so I love it.
The garden was created in 2011 to bring fresh, locally grown produce to DePaul and the surrounding community, and anyone can get involved.
We keep the space open to not only students, but the surrounding community, residents, whoever really passes by and wants to be involved.
The garden is run by the DePaul Urban Farming Organization. They maintain it year-round and have volunteer hours every Tuesday and Thursday.
And we're also providing skills for people to kind of become closer to their food and understand and kind of create a little bit more environmental literacy in that respect.
On Thursdays, students harvest the produce. Many volunteers can't wait to try what they're producing, and they even let me try some.
So these are dragon snaps.
Okay. Cheers.
So like a little fuzzy.
They're good.
Right?
Yeah.
They're really good.
Urban gardening and locally grown produce have become more popular in recent years. Farmers markets operate throughout the city, including downtown at Daly Plaza. Many feel they not only produce healthy food, but also cut down on greenhouse gas emissions because the food is grown and sold locally and not transported to faraway areas by polluting trucks. It's an issue First Lady Michelle Obama is especially fond of. She promotes it through various media, sometimes seriously, and other times through humor.
Turn up for what?
The DePaul Urban Garden brings fresh, locally grown produce to the community in two ways. They donate half their harvest to the St. Vincent de Paul Parish. The other half they sell at the Ray Meyer Fitness Center.
People look forward to us seeing us on Thursdays. Sometimes people even tell us that they base their meals around what we're offering at the farm stand. That's pretty awesome.
The stand is open on Thursdays from 5:30 to 7 p.m. And with winter coming soon, you'll only get a few more chances to buy local before next spring. Reporting for Good Day DePaul, I'm Daniel Kummerer. At this tiny apartment in the Gold Coast, Susan Volk is working hard. She has a deadline coming up and has to get this painting done. But despite the work and deadlines, she's doing what she loves.
It's not always easy, but it's fun, and I like to be challenged.
Volk's studio apartment doubles as her art studio. And the years of hard work show through the paint stains on the carpet and the paintings stacked up against the walls. But Volk is at a new beginning. In February, she quit her part-time job as a bartender to focus entirely on art. Now, she is faced with the excitement and uncertainty of working on commission.
It's the beginning, so I'm wearing a lot of hats. I'm the manager and the advertiser and the marketer and the creator and it feels good. It feels good to be challenged and push yourself to grow.
Right now, Volk is working on 5 very different projects. They range from a landscape of Tunisia to something a little more different.
My third commission I'm working on after that is a painting of the Beatles in Blackhawks jerseys playing street hockey on Abbey Road. So, they're all totally different things.
Most recently, she did a painting for the Streeterville bar Celtic Crossing. And for additional income, she auctions off old paintings on Facebook every Thursday. When I caught up with Volk, she was painting a portrait of her friend Liz for an art fair. But even something as simple as painting a friend requires a great amount of detail.
It's not always what you think. If someone's wearing a white shirt, there's probably 30 shades of gray in that shirt, or blues, purples, yellow highlights.
Volk's attention to detail lends itself to her spirituality and connection to nature. Plants grow all over her apartment, and messages hang everywhere, acting as a form of motivation. It's her spirituality that inspires her to keep making art.
The world is such a magical place, and being able to make a painting of something or make a sculpture of something, to capture some moment in time, feels like a big honor. And I hope I can do it justice.
In some regards, Volk is no different than a businesswoman working 9 to 5 in the Loop. But the major difference is when she's working, she's doing what she loves. Reporting for Good Day DePaul, I am Daniel Kummerer. The CTA is launching a new Venture mobile app next February. The app can be used by iPhone and Android users to pay their fares. It's part of a universal fare system that will allow CTA, Metra, and PACE users to ride all 3 transit systems using one fare card. Apple is making headlines again with 2 major announcements. First, they launched the new Apple Pay system on October 20th. This allows iPhone users to pay for items by just scanning their phones. Apple also released its new designs for the iPad Mini 3 and the iPad Air 2, which are thinner than any iPads on the market. Both are now available for pre-order.
I tried playing tennis once. It was kind of hard.
Yeah, I did too, and I realized that being a tennis star is not for me. Thanks, Jerica. Finding fresh, locally grown food can be a challenge for many students trying to stay healthy. But one organization is making it easier by bringing urban farming and fresh produce to DePaul's backyard. I recently spent some time with this group to see some of the impressive things they're doing.